Hey Dragon fam, this is Patrick, Distracted Dragon Makes. So today we're going to talk openGrid, but we're going to look at it through the view of an absolute beginner. I was talking to my neighbor Don, and we were talking about how to organize his wood shop. And he said, yeah, I have watched a bunch of videos, but I don't really understand what I need to do to get started. And I said, well, then we really need a beginner's crash course. So this video is intended to show you the basic parts, the boards, the connectors, and how to put stuff on the wall, and the pieces that you can use to customize your wall after it's up. So there's a lot of pieces in here we will go through. I will link all of the pieces I use and all the generators in the description so that you can go and get started on your openGrid journey. Alright, so the backbone of any good openGrid system is the board itself. So we've got three types. This is the light board and the regular board, both by David D. And then Kelvin over at KYZ Designs did the heavy board. So three boards, no waiting. So the light board still has the little adapters. I don't know if you can see this. Well, there you go. You can see where you can put in the inner board pins, but it's really thin, and so you can see compared to the regular size board or the heavy size board, the difference in the thicknesses. So I would use these where you have very limited space or very light things. So I have not used them as much because I prefer to have more grip. These will hold, but just not everything is geared towards the light board. So mostly decorative pieces, I would think, so that you have it doesn't have much pull on it. So the regular board, you can see the indents where you put the inner board clips. This is the standard board. So this works really well. It's got, all the grips on it that you need. You can put screw holes either in the corners, everywhere, or nowhere, depending on what use you're using it for. So these are pretty much standard if you're looking at openGrid. And then Kelvin at KYZ Designs created the heavy board. So this is much more for one-offs, I would think. People are making like storage units out of them. They're using them to do like display pieces where it's standing up, putting legs on it, things like that, where you want to. I've seen people using these for Lego minis and things like that. So Kelvin did point out to me that if you put two of these next to each other, you cannot have an open or a multi-connect piece going across these boundaries because they're so much thicker. Because you can see, so open or multi-connect and openConnect are both geared towards the normal size channel. So while you can fit them in here, you can't use them crossed multiple boards. All right, so these are the infamous Interboard connectors. So, hey, this seems like it's working better. So these go in between the boards. So basically you can slide these in. I tend to use these little hooks. I showed this in a different video where you can set these in, put that into place, and then use this to push down to clip it in. So makes it easy, especially if you're doing a lot of the boards at the same time. It just saves your fingers. So, and it gets them aligned every time. So these just go between the two boards, and always make sure your countersink is on the top. So we just push these two together and get the nice little click. And that gives you more strength. It also helps with your alignment, so you make sure that if you're doing something crossing boards, your rows and columns are all lined up. So because they are in the top as well. So that is really super handy. Now, if you're attaching these together, the problem I found when I'm putting them on the wall is that once one of these is screwed down, if you're doing a top and bottom, so you've got Oop. So if you're putting this together and this has to go into the top of the board above it, this becomes really difficult if you are trying to do these over and over on the wall, because if you're screwing down your boards, there's not enough flex to get these to match. So just be aware of that. What I did when I was adding boards to existing walls is I unscrewed around the edges, and then I would put just the outer one on both sides and use that as for my alignment. Now I will say that doing that does lead to a little bit of, you might get some extra play between the boards, which is okay. I haven't had any problems with crossing boards where there's been a small gap. Most of the tolerances are well within, a couple millimeters, so it's fine. What I would suggest when you're installing these, if you're doing a small or medium size installation, is print all your boards and then go ahead and assemble them all on a table and then put them up on the wall. And it might take two people depending on the size, but it makes it much easier to do that. So, but like I said, just you need to keep the edges of these boards loose so you can kind of flex them in to get them, line them up in, kind of like that, and then it'll snap in place while it's on the board, or on the wall, excuse me. So overall, it's a really good system. It really increases the strength and makes sure that you always have your alignments correctly. All right, so here's the one that gets everybody. So this is a number 8 by 1 1/4 screw, and you can use these just to mount to the wall. The thing is with the number 8 screws, it leaves it a little proud, which doesn't interfere with any of your attachment pieces, but it's a more industrial look. So you can go to a number 6 screw, which will set down into the recess, especially if you're worried about clearance on anything, which I have not found that to be an issue at all, and I have over 30 feet of openGrid in the other room. So you can just do that. Now, wall anchors into studs, I found no uses for either, so I just mounted these directly on the wall. If you want to screw in around, so say you have a 4x4 section, I would screw in around the external pieces as you're putting pieces onto the boards. If they start to flex a little bit, then add a screw just where you need it for extra support. You don't want these boards flexing, because after a while they will sag. And if you're using PETG, probably not as much of an issue, but with PLA it will. So just go ahead and look at it that way. You don't need a million screws in this thing to hold it on the wall. I ended up putting in screws in every screw hole only because I love the aesthetic of the industrial look of it, not because it needed it for any support. Now, when I did my original wall, I didn't put screws in everywhere, and there were a couple places with a couple heavier pieces where they did flex, and like I said, just put a screw in. You can use a snap-in screw if you want to, or you can just use the screw holes. These are pretty sturdy, especially if you're using the board connectors, so I would be perfectly fine with using it this way. So the next way that you can connect these to the wall, this is Ansler's command strip attachment. There's a lot of people who've done these, so this was just the one I used. It basically just clips into the board. You take this cam that's got, basically it's got twisting pieces on it, and it just sets right in here, and then you just use a screwdriver to turn it, and then it's got a nice little cap to make it look really clean. This is a game changer if you're doing like kitchen cabinets or hollow core doors, because you don't have to drill into them. So you don't have to worry about splitting your cabinet doors or anything else. If you are a renter and can't mount into the wall with screws, this is great. And he has many different sizes. So if you're doing something heavy, you can have multiples of these and just put heavier duty command strips on it. So great, great innovation. All right, so at this point, you've printed your boards. you've used the screws to put it on the wall, or you've used the command strips. Either one is great. Now, what we're going to look at is, you've got the board done, what do we do to put stuff on it? So this is where you got a bunch of choices. So we're going to start off with, this is new, and this is Caderous, Caderous. So this is pretty fantastic. This just came out. I saw it on Reddit the other day. Absolutely phenomenal. So this is just a standard. So this is your multi-connect board. This basically just slots up in here, but it has a screw hole. So you can screw into the board, put this in the board, screw it in, and then you can slide your piece over top of it. So if you're doing shelves or something and you're worried about them coming down, this will fix it. This is a really, really innovative way to handle that, and I'm really excited. The next time I'm doing a bigger piece that on the wall, this is definitely the way I'm going. So we also have, this is openConnect, which is by Mitsufi. I can never say this name. So, and it looks kind of like a piano, but it's got a connector piece that has just, its geometry is a little more hexagonal, I guess it is. But the nice part about these clips is they print flat. So you get plenty of surface area here, and you get a nice connection, and then it just slots up and in. So I've done a bunch of videos on how to attach these back plates to different pieces, and if you go to Maker's World, there's a ton of openConnect pieces every day. It seems like there's more and more. This is a great system, so highly recommend it. And then Yan Shea came out with Mount to Anything, so he has the studs on here, so you can just literally take this and just snap it. Yes, I put the name on the back so I'd remember. And it just snaps right in there, right? And then your piece would just sit in there. Works really well. So there is also another back plate that is the reverse. It would be these Multiconnect, that so you can go in, customize them all there in your set. And then the Mac Daddy, the OG. So these are the Multiconnect. David D and Blackjack Duck have worked on these, and so these are the standard studs. You'll see there's a directional, there's a little arrow there. It doesn't really show on camera very well, but you put that to the top, and then this just slides in. If you can get it lined up right, just slides right in, and boom, you're done. And so it goes on the wall. And so Blackjack Duck has created a ton of these different things, but this works really well. This is mostly what I've done. I have started using some of the openConnect where I can, because I really like the foldable pieces, but works pretty well. The other part that you can use, Mitsufi also created these, and you can see these are expansion joints. So really, really clever. So when you put the connector in, and you screw it down into the piece like this, it becomes a multi-connect. So, but this gives you a lot better grip because this expands in the board, and recently they've come out with the openConnect as well. So you can screw this in here, same thing, and then you can just use the openConnect plate instead. So really, really super useful. And then the other thing that I love to use on my openGrid wall are these. David D created a whole set of these hooks. Multiple sizes, you know, lots of range to use it. I use them for picture frames and all sorts of stuff. The nice part is all you do is line this up. I'm not going to do it because it's almost impossible to get off. You just line this up with the interior piece of a board, snap it down. I have had up to 4 kilograms or 8 pounds, 8.8 if you want to be exact, on these, and they do not bend. I will say that when I've hung something that heavy, I have to make sure it's screwed in a little better into the wall because it will pull and flex after a while. But These are fantastic, and there's all sorts of different designers have done clips around these and all sorts of fun stuff. So definitely go check those out if you're hanging pictures or, you know, pieces of art or anything else on your wall. It really works out well. So I think that covers it. Oh, all right. So that is all the basic pieces that you need to get started with openGrid today. All of the pieces behind me are a combination of the things that we've just got done deep diving. So the boards, the connectors, Multiconnect, openConnect, mount anything, all of them have places on the wall behind me and out in the mega office where we've done the giant openGrid wall. Just a fantastic system. But what if you have things that you want that are custom? We've got it covered for that too. So we're going to start off with Blackjack Duck. He has created not only a board customizer, which lets you select the size board you want, it also lets you set a whole lot of different parameters around where you want screw holes, what kind of chamfers you want, do you want the edge guide, interboard connection points. Covers everything. Also, he created a multi-connect generator system. So there are shelves, there are round holders, there are bins, there are all sorts of stuff. I've done many videos using the Multiconnect, so I will have all those in the playlist for you. Or if you're watching the big compilation video later on, then they'll be marked as chapters. So those are great. We also have Pedro went through and took Hands-On Katie's original Underware system and modified it to work with openGrid. Works fantastic, all sorts of settings. I highly recommend sitting down and watching the video I did with him. It really, he goes through every piece. And I'm hoping to get Blackjack Duck on here so that he can go through the Multiconnect generator just as thoroughly, so you have these great resources to answer all your questions so you can get it done easily. So that should cover just about all the basics to openGrid. I hope this helped. If you like this and you want to see more of it, please subscribe and like it and share it with your friends. If you have questions, the comments are always open. I answer everybody's questions down there, or you can go to Reddit, to the openGrid channel. I answer questions there every day. It is a really good community. I would really like to thank all the designers, Hands-On Katie, Blackjack Duck, David D, Pedro, Mitsufi, God, I say that wrong every time, Yan Shay, and a lot of other people. There's a lot of really good creative people that are putting their time and energy into making the system open source and easy to use. So the other places you can go is Hands-On Katie's website, or opengrid.world has a lot of resources as well, as does my channel. I have a playlist with all these on, so you can find how to make custom holders. Pedro and I had a discussion on how to use the Underware generator. I'm hoping to get Andy, Blackjack Duck, on here to go through the Multiconnect generator, because it's really fantastic. And I don't feel like I scratched the surface of all the things it does. So, this project has flown. Let's go hatch the next one. Until next time, this is Patrick, Distracted Dragon Makes. Go make something fun.